Peace. This is Waz for Waz Words Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, what a start to this boxing super week as we got a dominating performance, great performance by Inoue. So anyway, took on the unified champion at the 122-pound division, which was Stephen Fulton, aka Cool Boy Steph. He took both his belts, WBC and WBO belts, took those titles to Japan, and he put them on the line against the monster. Now, let's keep in mind, and this is why Inoue's performance is just that much more remarkable, because Stephen Fulton was the bigger guy, right? Inoue moved up in weight. And even I said this in my past video, win or lose, you got to give Inoue credit because Inoue went up in weight and he went straight to the top guy, which is Stephen Fulton. So you got to give him credit for that. However, like myself included and many others thought that Stephen Fulton, being the taller guy, being the guy with the longer reach, who has good footwork, good hand movement, good defense. And he displayed some good defense today. He was catching a lot of shots. So with those, with all of those things in his favor, especially once again being the bigger man, you would think that this fight would be close. Even as good as Inoue is built to be, but Fulton being the bigger fighter, longer reach, all the advantage in his favor. But what we got was the exact opposite. Like, Inoue came in and asserted his dominance from the very beginning. Like, he had, and I thought, and again, many others thought, that the jab was going to be the primary weapon that was going to be used by Stephen Fulton. Inoue was the one establishing his jab from the very onset of the fight. As soon as the bell rung, bang, bang, he started jabbing the body, changing levels. So he's changing Stephen Fulton's perspective, where those jabs are going to be coming from. And that, after starting with plenty jabs to the stomach, that had Fulton, now more aware, like, okay, these jabs he's aiming down here. So then that's when he started coming with an up jab. And that up jab it had force behind it. Like, he had tremendous force behind that up jab. It was even breaking through Stephen Fulton's guard. And like I said in my Keys to Victory video yesterday, some of that was starting to manifest where Inoue, Stephen Fulton was doing good in the beginning. He was catching a lot of shots, but it's just the power that Inoue has, that whenever Fulton would catch it, he'll catch that whether it's a right hand or a hook, he would catch it. But that sound, that thud against the gloves, and the fact that it was coming in with so much power that it would move Fulton back, even being the bigger guy, that got the crowd going. And that had to work in favor of Inoue. And the crowd definitely had the judges probably thinking to themselves, like, okay, yeah, this is looking like Inoue's fight early. But Inoue did not rely on that. There was a time, and I remember seeing that, because Stephen Fulton must have felt the power so early in the fight that he would be in range. So he was in range to exchange or to have a nice crisp jab, because it wasn't like he would have to reach in for it. He was in range, but he would not shoot it. He wouldn't shoot it. He would not fire off, because a couple times Inoue, and that's another thing, he's also, his IQ is really high. Like, there was a couple times where Fulton would throw a jab and Inoue would come with an overhand right over his jab. And that made Stephen Fulton, from like the third round forward, very gun shy. Even when he was within range and he could have exchanged or used his jab more, he didn't want to. He was concerned of what was coming back in return. And Inoue was caught him a few times, like over his jab with some overhand rights and those hooks, uppercuts. It was an onslaught. So in the 8th round, Inoue catches him and again, it by going to the body frequently, consistently throughout the fight, that already established Stephen Fulton's eye level to keep dropping. Like, okay, he's jabbing again to the body. So now Fulton will have to bring his eyes and his guard down, and that paid dividends by establishing that early in the fight, because that's how Inoue knocked down Fulton the first time. Jab to the stomach, then came with the right hand up top. And as Fulton dropped his hands to block the jab to the stomach, boom, swift right hand, followed by a hook, put Fulton on the ground, and Fulton never recovered. So great, tremendous victory by Inoue. This one solidifies his spot as one of the pound-for-pound greats of the sport today. And we're looking at like the new Manny Pacquiao, man. Bob Arum did it again. You see Bob Arum in the back of Inoue, like, hey, I got me another one. So, yeah, Uncle Bob back there chilling, smiling. Because, man, he found him. Pacquiao's on his way out the door, or, just exited the door a year ago, and he had Inoue right there in the cut waiting. And, yeah, tremendous performance. We're looking at a new Manny Pacquiao, a guy, because Manny Pacquiao went up 8 divisions, and the power carried with him, the speed carried with him. So you're going to get that with Inoue. This is, I think, but a brief stop at 122. This man started at 108. We got to give him credit, man. Got to give him credit. He started at 108. Now to go up to 122 and dominate the top fighter. I mean, he made Cool Boy Steph look ordinary. An ordinary fighter. To go up there and dominate like this, you got to give him his credit. And he's got the fight against, what's his name? Ayala from the Philippines. So they're going to go for undisputed at the end of this year. And I think when Inoue wins that fight, I think he's going to drop those belts, and then he's going to have mega fights up at 126. He's going to have some mega fights at 126. You got your Ray Vargas's, you got Foster, there's going to be some good fights up there. I could see Inoue going all the way up to at least 130, maybe 135. But because the power is just, it resonated at 122. So you could just imagine that power is going to carry at least a couple more weight classes. So we had a great start to Boxing Super Week. Up next, the main one, man, the big one. The fight of the decade coming up this Saturday. Crawford versus Spence. So that's all for now. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.